Hello beautiful and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to this video where we are going to talk about the birthstone palette of May, which is Emerald from BH Cosmetics. I'm going to do an eye look, we're going to do some swatches, we're going to see if this is the good BH Cosmetics quality or if we can skip out on this one. And if you haven't been here before, my name is Angie. Hello. I am a lover of fashion and makeup, especially colorful things, and there are some greens in this palette and I'm super excited to be wearing a green eye look today. So if you're interested in that or just interested in makeup content altogether, don't forget to subscribe because I upload 5 videos a week. These birthstone palettes have been releasing the first of every month this year. So there's been a January, a February, a March, and April, and this is May. So this birthstone is Emerald, and this is what the palette looks like. It is a half neutral, half green palette. This has the same kind of a layout as the other palettes, meaning that the emerald shade in the palette is a bigger one. All of the shades that have been like the name of the palette has a bigger pan. Do I like that they're a bigger pan? Not really, but at least they have a plan. Like, not every makeup brand has a plan, so they're sticking with the plan. And then there is one that's called High Spirit, which is a pressed glitter. All of these palettes have had a pressed glitter. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of pressed glitters in palettes. I know that some of you love it, so I think it's one of those things that either you love it or you hate it. Maybe it's not, because I'm indifferent, I'm gonna be honest. I use glitters from time to time, but not enough to want to have them in a palette. But I guess they're sticking with their guns and they're putting pressed glitters in. This is $9 and I bought it at BH Cosmetics Germany. I will link both the Germany side and the US side. I have not seen these palettes at like Ulta or Beauty Bay, so it seems like these are like exclusive to BH Cosmetics website, and they're only $9, and the packaging is really slim and cute. It's like the color of the stone. I have videos on all of these. Maybe I'll do a playlist. And I'll put that up here in the corner with all of the other birthstone palettes. I'm thinking of doing every month, and we'll just check back at the end of the year and we'll see which one is the best. But I am super excited to be trying this one out. We'll do an eye look, we'll do something fun. I already have the rest of my face on, and I will link down below all the things that are on my face in case you're interested. I also did pick up this one. This is the brush set, and the handles, these are 12 brushes, and each handle has like the name and the color of the stones of the birthstone. I think that this idea is genius. Just look at how cute some of these are, like the green, the purple, the blue, and then these, they're like the turquoise and the like, I think this is peridot, giving us a glimpse, or maybe this one is peridot and the other one is citrine, just giving us a glimpse into what the color scheme is going to be for the future. Of course, they've already shown us which stones they picked for which month. There are different birthstones for different months depending on which part of the world you're in and all of these things. These are just the stones that they picked out of all of the options there are in different cultures and different countries, so we already know which ones are coming for the rest of the year. Let me show you how some of the brushes look as well. You can see that this is a mix of eye brushes and face brushes, and I just thought that this set just looked very cute, and I love that every handle is the different like birthstones. So yeah, I'm super excited. This one is the prettiest one. The one that is called, this is peridot, right? Yeah. It's a green see-through one, and then it has like a blob of a lime in here. I'm hoping that is telling of what we're gonna see. But yeah, I'm gonna use some of these eye brushes today, and we'll see, because you've been asking me to try some BH Cosmetics brushes. So let's zoom in and let's just start. I want to do something that's like this darker, like reddish brown, and then I think I'm just gonna play with these two mattes, but I'm gonna keep this one at the outer corner and this one more at the inner part of the crease. But maybe I'll see. Maybe I'll start with this one, the Restless, which is a deep like olive matte green. And I think I'm gonna use, what am I gonna use? Maybe I'll use something, I think this is gonna be good. This is the one that's opal. This is a very nice handle, like very iridescent. I'm hoping that that's gonna translate into the upcoming opal palette. And I don't have eye primer. I'm gonna use the Juvia's Place one. These need to be shaken a bit before you apply them. That is something that I've noticed, but I've really been enjoying these primers. I'm using the light one today to really get this to pop. Maybe I could have used number 2 because to be honest, these shades are a little bit more like grungy. Okay, new try. I'm putting the green here. just mapping out where I want it to be, because I want the green to be here. Oh, that is a pretty green. I know some people are gonna want a lighter matte in this palette, but it's only a 7-pan palette, and I prefer if they don't give me a lighter matte in all of them. And if it is a good quality matte, you will be able to blend it out just as it is. Wow, that is a dark and beautiful shade. So I think I'm gonna put just a little bit out here, just shading a little bit. That is intense, and this is what I'm thinking with this palette. I think you can just use like this and this, or this and this, and this and this. You can just mix 2 shades and get like a nice eye look. So I'm just switching to the other side that I don't have any product on, and I'm just gently blending on the edge, small circular motions, and then I'm just putting a little bit more on and making sure that we don't lose the intensity. But yeah, that is very intense. I'm just taking a clean brush. This is the Peridot one. Yeah, this is the Peridot one, and I'm just, again, blending these edges a little bit. Of course, you can bring in whatever, to be honest, to soften the edges if you feel like you need that. I'm using the one that's called Stubborn, which is that, like, you can see like a plummy reddish brown, and I'm putting that out here. And I'm using the Peridot brush now, and I'm just putting it in the outer corner. I feel like these work pretty good together. And I'm just gonna put this in the outer corner and the outer part of the crease to have a little bit of darkness out here. These 2 mattes are so pigmented. Wow. Okay, so I have a pretty dark crease right now, and I will say if you're like a fair to medium in your skin tone, I would say that maybe using some kind of a transition shade will make this a bit easier. But of course, if you are of a deeper skin tone than me, I don't think you need a transition shade, and I kind of like that that's not taking up space in this palette. You have lighter shades at home, I promise you. Even some of these palettes from before have lighter shades that you can match with if you have one of these from before. I'm gonna use the Emerald and the Hard Worker on half the lid each. That is my plan, if I can find a brush. Oh my god, I need to clean my brushes again. Really, I am gonna spray these because I like spraying my brushes to get as little fallout as possible, if I can find the spray, and also to make it a bit more precise, so that I like get it exactly where I want it. So I always spray everything, and I am gonna put this out here. Ooh, I would say that that is a darker, slightly cooler toned metallic brown, and I'm just putting that here on the outside, and I'm gonna use a little bit of the matte Stubborn shade and just blend on the edge to make this blend into each other. That is pretty. This is getting to be a pretty dark look. Oopsie. And now let's do the Emerald on the inner part. You can see the Emerald shade is definitely more of a brighter, slightly grassy green compared to that like dark olive khaki-ish shade that's in the crease. But that is pretty, and I am gonna gently, without adding any additional product, I'm gently, with very gentle strokes, blending that into the crease so we get a little bit of a transition. I'm bringing it a little higher up here. But that is very pretty. I might need, I'm taking the brush that doesn't have any product on it that I use to blend the edges, just going over the edge between the shimmer and the matte. I might use something else in my inner corners because I feel like I want to have something in my inner corners, but I don't know if this total package is gonna be, or maybe that is light enough. Yeah, okay. My bad, we are definitely using that in my inner corners. But I want to use the other green shimmer as well. The one that's called Artsy AF, because I feel like that will be such a pretty green as well, and a bit more like the matte, a bit more khaki. So maybe I'll use that under my eyes. That could be fun. I didn't feel like this brush set had a good like, because this is too thick for me to want to use on the lid. I like when they're flat but thinner for like a lid brush, at least according to me. But this one, the one that is a citrine, look at this like orangey mustard yellow. I really hope that that is what the future palette's gonna look like. This is something that I like to use for my under eyes. So I'm using this Artsy AF, and I'm gonna spray that. And I think I'm gonna use that on my entire lower lash line. Oh, I got a little fallout. On my entire lower lash line, and I'm just gonna meet up with this dark matte in the outer part. Yeah, that is a bit similar to the emerald. This is just more of a cool toned khaki one. Okay, I'm using a little bit of that stubborn shade now, which is that dark matte. And I'm just using that to wrap around my outer corner, because that is something that I like to do, to just make stuff look a bit, I don't know, deeper, cohesive. You know how I feel about deep looks. I could use this as a pencil brush for my inner corner, the one that's a turquoise, but it's a tad too big for that. So I'm gonna use something that's a little smaller, and I'll use the total package, and I will spray it, and I'm just gonna put a little dot here. Yeah, I think that I will just barely get away with this as an inner corner highlight. But if you are lighter than me, I am a light medium. So if you are a light or a fair, this might be a little too dark to be an inner corner highlight, but I personally don't see any problems with a palette not catering to fair to light skin tones, because I feel like every other palette does. So I personally love combining palettes with each other, and I think that at the end of the year, like when all of these have come out, I think it would be so fun to just combine a couple of these together and make looks. I think that this is a very fun and like dark look. I'm gonna use a little bit of this Killer Liner and Killer Camo by Too Faced in my waterline. That needs a little sharpening, but here we are. I just think that these would combine together so well, and even though this one doesn't have a lighter matte to help blend these darker mattes out, not every palette needs that. Okay, so this is where I'm at right now. I have everything on. I put on the lashes that I tried for the first time yesterday. These are the OPV Beauty Auroras, and they are magnificent. I will link them down below. They're absolutely stunning. I know that sometimes when a YouTuber talks about loving something like so much, it's so easy to think that it's sponsored, but bought these myself. Brand doesn't know I exist, but boy do I love these lashes. So how do I feel about the palette? I like it. I like it. I think this is the same BH Cosmetics quality as they usually have, which is top notch. Not just good for the price, like good quality. These mattes are as good as a lot of the high-end formulas that I try. They are pigmented and blendable, and just you're able to sheer them out or build them up. I will say though, like I said when I was applying these shadows, if you are of a lighter skin tone like me, you might find these to be a bit easier to work with if you work with a transition shade or something to blend out the edges with that is a little bit lighter. I mean, if you don't have that and this is the only eyeshadow palette you own in your collection, maybe that will be a struggle. But me personally, I have loads of shades that I can use this together with. And to be fair, not everyone does the makeup the same way. I hate with a burning passion when YouTubers bash something because it's not a full completed like palette, because it's missing something that they use for their eyeshadow looks. Not everyone does their eyeshadow the same way. This is a complete palette for a lot of people. I was able to complete my look with this, but I will say if I had a lighter matte, it would have been a little bit easier. I do think that this like green that is here, like the darker shade, is like represented in the emerald shade. This is a bit of a deeper green. I know that some people were wishing that this entire palette was more green, and I will say I would have preferred it if this entire palette was a bit green, but I think their whole shtick with these birthstone palettes is that it's supposedly a half neutral, half colorful palette with a pressed glitter with a bigger pan that represents the stone. They seem to have a plan. Do I 1,000,000% agree with the plan? Maybe not, but again, my preferences is not everyone's preferences. And I think, is this my favorite so far of the Birthstone palette? I don't know. I think I still love the Garnet one a bit more because for me, I'm able to do my types of looks with it. But I will say that the shadows that I used on my eyes today, they're very high quality. And I think that if I'm able to pair this with another palette, this is more my type of color scheme. Does this make sense? I really like it though. And if you were thinking, is this the same quality as the other BH Cosmetics palettes? It is. Okay, this was long and winded. Thank you so much for being here. I will leave all the info in the description box and I will see you tomorrow for my new makeup releases. Bye!